Shem, saa zingine anaonekana kwa uchache. Many people could be asking themselves, huyu anaitwa Elder anakuanga wapi? Na tunaomba msamaha kwa the last 1 month hatujakuwa, kwa sababu nakumbuka kuna kipindi tulikuwa pale, mtoto akawa hajisikii vizuri, tukatoka, lakini tulikuwa tumemaliza lesson, tukaenda hospitali. Baadaye wiki ambayo iliyofuata pia tukawa pale, na ile ambayo ilikuwa inayofuata pia tukawa tumeenda nyumbani kwa sababu ya lost our grandparents. So tulipotoka tukakuja hapa, nikawa nimekaa pale almost completion of a week, ndio tuingie hapa, nikapata simu nikaenda pale kazini. So haikuwezekana. So nikiwa pale kazini, nikiteremka kwenda kanisani, nikaona ujumbe zikisema kwamba mvua hapa ni mingi. Mvua ni mingi kiasi kwamba kanisa haitakuwepo. Na kwa kweli nilifuatilia vizuri kwa sababu nilianza kutoka kwangu na nikaambiwa saa hii ndio imeshika. Okay. So iliposhika, baadaye nikaambiwa mvua bado inafanya nini? Inaendelea. Na baadaye nikaona online wakisema kwamba ambayo walipatika kufika kanisani walikuwa sijui familia 8 ama ni watu 8. Tunashukuru Mungu kwa hiyo kwa ajili iliwezekana hivyo. Na Mungu apatiwe sifa. Siku nyingine tunapoendelea kujitahidi, tunaomba kwamba tumalize lile jengo ndio tupate pahali ambapo tutayapata kukaa kama kanisa. Getting back to our Bible and from our key verse ambaye imesomwa inaitwa kitabu ya Joshua. From the book of Joshua, that is chapter 15, verse 16 to 19. When my elder was reading the book, it sounded to be a bit difficult from the writer, from the book in which he read that Bible. But I want to make the content a bit easier for us to understand what the author meant about that text. He said this: I could wish to begin by saying that we are seeing the life of Caleb at the time when Moses has died. That is the point in which we are looking at the life of Caleb. The children of Israel are asking Caleb. They are asking God. Now, after the death of Moses, who is taking us to the promised land? That is the question they are asking God. But in a rejoinder very fast, God himself answered the question of the children of Judah by telling them the first tribe to conquer and get into the promised land, it is the children of Judah. Remember, the Israelites were 12 tribes, and all of them were going to the promised land, but they were going there by the conditions of God. The first one, which was allowed to get into the promised land, was the tribe of Joshua, because it was given victory by God himself that this was the one to get unto the land of Kiriath Sefer, as he read the book. So as they were exchanging, Caleb, now that he is the leader taking these children to the promised land, he must have seen something from the enemy, because where they were going to the land of Kiriath Sefer, already there were people who had occupied that land. And the people who had occupied the land of Kiriath Sefer were the Canaanites. So he's asking himself, how do we get out these people from that promised land? And I wanted to see that Caleb would have been a wise leader. He knew that he was going to conquer, but before he conquers, he assembled his army and he gave them a reward. Actually, a reward that they were planning to conquer the land of Kiriath Seba. This is what Caleb says. He's saying that whoever attacks and conquer the land of Kiriath Seba, I'll give you my daughter Aksha for marriage. Not knowing that in that the people were to conquer, the son of Kenaz, who was Caleb's younger brother, was so among in the midst of the people who are fighting the enemy. Fortunately or unfortunately, this Othniel, now Othniel, when you look at it, is a nephew to Caleb. Is it not the case? Is a nephew. Now, the nephew has conquered the land of Kiriath Seba, and he has come back to Caleb asking for the promise that he has been given. Remember, Caleb said this when they were going, because it is Caleb, when they were conquering the land, it is Caleb and the children of Judah who were going to settle in the land of Kiriath Seba. So, Othniel has conquered and is coming back for his reward from his uncle, who is Caleb. When he is coming back, he is coming for a reward. And in the scripture our elder has read, it actually talks about a daughter, that is Aksha, and the dad, that is Caleb. And when you look at it, it appears, this book, it is recorded twice in the Bible. And when we find this that is appearing twice in the Bible, there must be a good reason why this story is appearing twice in our Bibles. In a short while, we are going to see how it appears in two books in the Bible. The way in which this young lady went to the father, and the way the father received her, and the same way he treated us, should make us learn a lesson the same way that we need to go to our Heavenly Father. How he should receive us, treat us if we go to him in that pattern. And that one now forms a very brief synopsis of what we are going to see this morning from the book of Joshua. Monene Tata Yesu, twasira sikira. Natirire mutu y'abantu banyu. Okwanandi ayango kwana tali ayango. Ayana. Tangene ngorokereri unaimbi kuri. Now, the first thing I could wish to bring to your attention, it is the consideration Aksha had before she went to her father. If we understand this, then you would have gotten my sermon. That the consideration Aksha had before she went to see her father, Caleb. Nataka kusema kwa Kiswahili kwamba huyu Aksha alikuwa na maombi, na haya maombi kabla aende kwa baba yake alikuwa na jambo ambalo alikuwa anataka kumwambia. Ndio maana nikasema there is one thing I could wish to bring to your notice about the consideration Aksha had before he went to see that Caleb. Nimesema kwamba from the beginning that the scripture we have read, the story we have read from this book, it appears twice in our Bible. And now, Elder Elder Son, naomba unisaidie kusoma the book of Judges, chapter 1, verse 12 mpaka 14, so that we are able to establish the similarities that we are talking about Aksha and the father Caleb.
Waamuzi moja fungu la 12 hadi 14 inasema, huyo Kalebu alisema, yeye atakayeupiga Kiriath-Seferi na kuutwaa, nitamwoza mwanangu Aksa awe mkewe. Naye Othnieli mwana wa Kenazi, ndugu mdogo wa huyo Kalebu, aliutwaa, basi akamwoza mwanawe Aksa.
You will be able to notice that the scripture he has read is a replica of what we have already read from the book of Joshua. So I want to put the emphasis in verse 18, the book of Joshua. Right?
Joshua 15:18 inasema, kisha ikawa hapo huyo mwanamke alipokwenda kwa mumewe, akamtaka aombe shamba kwa baba yake. Akashuka katika punda wake, Kalebu akamuuliza, wataka nini?
Yes. The consideration that Aksha added to the father ni maombi. Alikuwa na maombi ya shamba. That is what he has read. And the reason why I wanted to choose the book of Joshua as our key text, it is because of the language and the emphasis that has been played in this particular book. When you read this book, chapter 18, it says, verse 18, now it was so, when she came to him, that she persuaded him to ask her father for a field. So she dismounted from her donkey, and Caleb said to her, what do you wish? So you can get, when you go to the book of Judges, it also speaks of the same, but the language here, which is used, number 14, it says, now it happened, when she came to him, that she asked him. This is the daughter, she is asking the father, according to the language which is used in the book of Judges. But when you look at the book of Joshua, he is saying the daughter is persuading the dad so that he can give her the land. So there is more weight when we are talking about persuasiveness than giving an urge. That is what happened when Aksha was going to her father. Interestingly, you will now get to know that this was a couple. This was a newly married couple, Aksha and Othniel. These were a new married couple. They were given a land. They were given an estate. To do what? To stay and have their life from that estate. When you go through the Bible, it tells you it is this woman who was so much concerned about the estate and the productivity of that estate to the man. When you go through, it says, this lady, when they were in that estate, she never settled. She could move around the estate. This lady could move around the estate. She could go to the east. She could go to the west. She could go to the north. She could go to the south. Why? There is something this lady was looking within the estate. What I'm saying this morning, that before you pray, get to understand your need before you pray. When you look at Aksha, also wanted to understand the need for that very specific land, if there was any need, so that it can be able to support them when they are working in that farm, so that it can be able to support them If you make a mistake to pray without a need in the mind, you get onto your knees, then thereafter you will come out of your knees without something at the end of the day. When this young lady went to the dad, went to Caleb, she had a very specific need in her mind. She went. She just never went that way. She went. This lady, when you read some other materials, it tells you that she could never afford to open her mouth to speak of anything until when her heart was filled with knowledge, so that she could be able to speak of it. This lady, interestingly, I love her. The land in which that they were given, as she was moving round, she discovered that the land was not productive. I want to affirm that from the same book which we read, my elder, 15:19. That is Joshua.
19 inasema,
Yes.
huyo mwanamke akasema, nipe baraka.
Yes.
Kwa kuwa umeniweka katika nchi ya kusini.
Yes.
Unipe chemchemi za maji pia.
Yes.
Ndipo akampa chemchemi za maji ya juu.
Yes.
Na chemchemi za maji ya chini.
Thank you. As you can be able to see from what the elder has led, he's saying, since that the land was not productive, this lady, when she went to the father, she was very specific. She went for the need, the springs of water, nothing else. It is the springs of water that could make the land become productive. And when the